6 signs a woman is done with you. High-value men must notice. Stoic life lessons. Sometimes the strongest message is the one left unsaid. Marcus Aurelius. When a woman is done with you, she won't always say it out loud, but her actions will speak volumes. Too often men miss the critical signs until it's far too late, leaving them wondering where it all went wrong. But today on Win Stoic, we'll dive into the 6 key signals that show she's already checked out of the relationship. Recognizing these early can make all the difference, especially for high-value men who want to stay ahead of the game. Let's get straight to it. Don't let these signs slip past you unnoticed. 1. She stops initiating conversations. When a woman is done with you, the signs are often subtle at first, but they gradually become clearer if you're paying attention. And as a high-value man, it's crucial to notice these signs early, so you don't waste your energy on something that's already slipping away. One of the most telling signs is when she stops initiating conversations. Think back to the days when your phone buzzed constantly with her messages, whether it was a random meme, a casual "hey" to check in, or just to share something that reminded her of you. If that's turned into silence, it's a red flag that can't be ignored. Her enthusiasm to connect has waned, and it's not a game anymore. It's a sign she's emotionally withdrawing. In the realm of Stoicism today, it's essential to recognize this as an opportunity to reflect, rather than react impulsively. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Rather than chase after someone who's distancing themselves, a high-value man must find peace in his own actions and decisions, focusing on maintaining stoic happiness regardless of external circumstances. Now, let's be real. If you find yourself always being the one to start conversations, it's like trying to keep a bonfire alive with damp wood. Exhausting, frustrating, and ultimately pointless. If you're the one constantly reaching out, you're pouring energy into something that's no longer reciprocating. In the world of Stoicism, this is where self-discipline and self-worth come into play. Modern life teaches us to chase after what we want, but Stoicism teaches us the opposite, to let go of things that are not within our control. In this situation, what you can control is your reaction, your peace, and the way you respect yourself. Clinging to something that's slipping away only drains your emotional resources. It's time to shift the focus back to yourself, on cultivating inner strength and serenity, hallmarks of Stoic happiness. A second clear sign is when she stops prioritizing time with you. Remember when she would carve out time in her busy schedule just to see you, even if it was for a short coffee break or a quick call. If that effort has evaporated, it's a sign her interest and investment in the relationship are fading. This change in behavior is a tough pill to swallow, but it's one that every high-value man must learn to accept with grace. In Stoicism today, we learn that external circumstances, like whether or not someone wants to spend time with us, are beyond our control. Marcus Aurelius taught, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Instead of chasing her, shift that energy towards bettering yourself, enriching your own life, and surrounding yourself with people who value your time and presence. Another crucial sign is when she becomes less interested in physical intimacy, Physical connection is a reflection of emotional closeness, and when the latter starts fading, the former tends to follow suit. If her touches, hugs, or even kisses feel distant or absent altogether, it's a clear sign that things are not as they used to be. However, Stoic philosophy reminds us not to dwell on what we cannot control. As Seneca wisely noted, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Don't let the lack of physical affection become the centerpiece of your emotional world. Instead, focus on mastering your emotions, building a strong inner foundation that isn't easily shaken by external changes. When a woman shows these signs, it's not your job to chase or beg for her attention. Instead, practice Stoic happiness by focusing on what you can control: your thoughts, actions, and emotions. The more you strengthen your own inner world, the less these external fluctuations will affect you. Remember, being a high-value man means knowing when to walk away with your dignity intact and when to invest that energy back into yourself. Just like the ancient Stoics, stay calm, stay grounded, and most importantly, stay true to yourself. 2. Her responses become short and distant. When a woman's responses shift from engaging to short and distant, it's a sign you cannot afford to ignore, especially as a high-value man with a Stoic mindset. You take a deep breath and text her, putting your thoughts and feelings into words. But what do you get back? A cold, dismissive K or fine. It stings, doesn't it? Once upon a time, your chats flowed effortlessly, filled with enthusiasm and long, thoughtful messages. Now, those days seem like a distant memory, and every conversation feels like you're pulling teeth just to get more than a one-word response. Her replies have shrunk down to single letters, emojis, or even worse, those dreaded read receipts, with no reply at all. If you find yourself constantly starting the conversation and getting almost nothing in return, that's a glaring red flag. It's a sign that she's emotionally withdrawn, and it's highly likely she's already contemplating her exit. Let me tell you a story that might resonate with you. A friend of mine, Mike, was in a similar situation not too long ago. He had been seeing this woman for a few months, and in the beginning, everything was great. They would talk for hours, exchange stories, and there was a real connection. But over time, something shifted. Her responses got shorter and less frequent, and she seemed distracted during their conversations. Mike didn't want to believe that things were changing, so he ignored the signs and kept pushing forward, hoping things would get back to how they used to be. But the more he tried, the more distant she became, until one day she simply stopped replying altogether. Mike learned a tough lesson. By clinging to what was, he had missed the opportunity to focus on what is. As a man with a Stoic mindset, you must recognize these signs early and understand that it's not about chasing someone who no longer values your presence. It's about recognizing your own worth and knowing when to walk away. Do you dare to leave when you feel there is no fit? Do you dare to let go to return to yourself? If you dare, comment, "I dare." If that is not enough to convince you, let me know your current thoughts or simply comment, "I need to think more." Now, think about your situation. Have you noticed this shift in her communication? Are you constantly trying to revive a conversation that feels like it's on life support? A high-value man understands the power of silence and walking away when necessary. If her responses have become short and distant, it's crucial to acknowledge that she may have already checked out emotionally. So ask yourself, are you holding on to something that's no longer there? Are you wasting your time trying to reignite a connection that's already fizzled out? A Stoic man doesn't cling to what he cannot control, nor does he allow himself to be disrespected by someone who doesn't reciprocate his efforts. At the end of the day, it's not about trying to win her back through more texts, more calls, or more effort on your part. It's about recognizing that you deserve someone who will meet you halfway, someone who values the connection as much as you do. As a man with a Stoic mindset, the most valuable lesson you can learn from this situation is to protect your energy. Don't chase after someone who has already distanced herself. By doing so, you reclaim your power and open yourself up to new possibilities, ones that align with the high-value man you are becoming. So, the next time you're faced with short and distant responses, don't view it as a challenge to win her back. Instead, see it as a sign that it's time to move on. Focus on your own growth and let her realize what she lost in her own time. What will you do with this knowledge? Will you keep trying to salvage something broken, or will you embrace the Stoic path and walk away with your dignity intact? 3. She avoids spending time with you. When a woman is done with you, one of the most glaring signs is that she avoids spending time with you. Picture this. Every time you suggest hanging out, she's suddenly busier than a CEO on Wall Street. There's always a reason. Plans with friends, a headache, or even a pet goldfish in desperate need of emergency surgery. The excuses stack up, and each one is as convenient as the next. But are you really paying attention to what's happening here? This is more than just a case of bad timing. When a woman is done, your invitations no longer hold the same appeal. They start to feel like inconveniences to her, and she's crafting distance, intentionally or not. It's crucial to recognize this, because as the old saying goes, if they wanted to, they would. And that's true here. People make time for what they value, so if she's avoiding you repeatedly, it's not just that she's busy. She's likely sending a clear message that her priorities have shifted, and they don't include you. Think about it. Have her excuses become more vague, more frequent? Are plans constantly falling apart at the last minute, with no real effort to reschedule? If you're seeing more of her reasons for why she can't meet up than actual face-to-face time, that's a red flag. This isn't just a coincidence. She's putting up walls, creating emotional distance. And as tough as it may be to admit, that distance is saying something loud and clear. She's moving on, and you need to take the hint. As Marcus Aurelius once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. It's a harsh reality, but one that you, as a high-value man, must face with Stoic life lessons in mind. The philosophy of Stoicism teaches us that we can't control others, only our own reactions. So how will you choose to respond to her pulling away? Will you chase after something that's already slipping through your fingers, or will you stand firm in your self-worth and recognize that this chapter is closing? What is Stoicism in this context? It's the inner strength to see things as they are, not as we wish them to be. It's about understanding that if she's avoiding you now, forcing the connection won't change her mind or her feelings. Instead, it's about focusing on yourself, your goals, your growth, and your own emotional well-being. Ask yourself, what good comes from clinging to someone who no longer values your time and presence? Wouldn't it be more empowering to walk away with dignity rather than holding on to something that's already fading? That's the essence of Stoic life lessons, knowing when to let go and trusting that by doing so, you're making space for something better. In this moment, you have a choice. You can either spiral into self-doubt, questioning every interaction, every excuse, or you can accept the reality of the situation with grace and strength. As Epictetus wisely noted, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. She may be pulling away, but that doesn't define your worth as a person or as a man. You're more than someone's rejection, and her actions don't determine your value. High-value men understand this deeply. They know that sometimes the best move is to step back, observe, and ultimately let go. So, how will you take this knowledge and apply it to your own life? Will you let her actions shake your foundation? Or will you use this experience to grow stronger in your understanding of what is Stoicism and how it can guide you? The decision is yours. What steps will you take to ensure you remain in control of your own emotions, no matter how others may treat you? 4. She no longer argues or cares about problems. There's a common misconception that peace in a relationship is always a good thing. But gentlemen, sometimes that silence can be the loudest signal that something is wrong. High-value men must recognize when a woman is done, not just emotionally but mentally as well. And understanding these signs is crucial for your Stoic happiness and growth. When a woman no longer argues or cares about the problems in your relationship, that's not the green light for smooth sailing. In fact, it might just be the storm brewing below the surface. You see, when two people are invested in a relationship, disagreements are inevitable, and they are often a sign of care and commitment. Arguments, when handled maturely, are opportunities for growth. They signify that both partners are willing to put in the effort to make things work. But when she stops engaging, no longer wanting to debate or even discuss the challenges you face together, it's not because she has found inner peace or transcended the conflicts. Instead, it could be that she's already checked out mentally and emotionally. Apathy, not anger, is the real relationship killer. As Epictetus once said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. And if her reaction is no reaction at all, it's a glaring signal that the relationship has run its course. The Stoicism today teaches us to be present and mindful of the energy in our relationships, whether good or bad. Many men might think that the absence of fights means the relationship is going well. But let me tell you, a relationship without any friction isn't always a sign of harmony. When a woman stops arguing, stops caring about resolving even the smallest issues, it's like she's waved the white flag. She's stopped investing in the relationship because, in her mind, it's no longer worth the fight. This isn't a passive state of calm, but rather a complete detachment from the partnership. High-value men must be aware of this shift, as Stoic life lessons teach us to embrace reality as it is, not how we wish it would be. And the reality here is that no arguments could mean she's emotionally moved on. Think about modern relationships, where distractions are endless, and it's easy for partners to drift apart without even realizing it. In today's fast-paced world, when someone checks out, they often do so quietly, without dramatic exits or bold declarations. It's that slow, creeping detachment that becomes the real danger. Stoicism today helps us build resilience and awareness, and part of that is recognizing when someone's actions, or lack thereof, are telling you more than their words. If her response to relationship issues becomes a shrug or a whatever, it's not because she's suddenly mastered the art of being unbothered. She's already mentally moved on, and her silence is her way of telling you that the relationship has reached its end. In modern life, it's easy to mistake apathy for peace, but for those of us who follow Stoic happiness and principles, we know better. As high-value men, it's vital to stay alert to these subtle shifts. The absence of conflict doesn't mean the absence of problems. Sometimes it means the problems have become so insurmountable in her eyes that she's decided they're not worth solving anymore. And while it might feel easier in the short term not to deal with arguments or tension, the long-term result is a relationship that's already over, even if the breakup hasn't happened yet. So, gentlemen, pay attention to the silence. It's often more telling than words. A woman who no longer engages in disagreements or cares about resolving issues is a woman who has likely emotionally checked out. Do you think the same as me? If so, please comment, "I think so too." If she's no longer fighting for the relationship, it's time for you to take a step back and reflect on where things stand. Don't wait for the ship to sink. Recognize the signs early and apply the Stoic wisdom of accepting what is out of your control and focusing instead on your personal growth. It's not about blaming her or yourself, but about understanding the reality of the situation and moving forward with grace, dignity, and the inner peace that comes with Stoic happiness. 5. She spends more time on her phone around you. If you've noticed that lately, when you're together, she's spending more time scrolling through her phone than looking at you, then it's time to pay attention, because this is one of the clearest signs she's checked out of the relationship. It's like you're sitting right next to her, but you feel miles apart. And that's not just about distance, it's emotional. If you're finding yourself in a situation where you have to compete with her Instagram feed for her attention, chances are she's mentally checked out long before you noticed. Sure, everyone glances at their phone now and then, but when a woman consistently chooses her screen over spending real, quality time with you, there's something deeper going on. High-value men who have mastered the Stoic mindset know how to read these cues because they understand that actions always speak louder than words. Her phone becomes more than just a device. It's an escape, a sign that the connection between the two of you is starting to fade. She's not engaging in the moment because, in her mind, she's already swiping left on your relationship. The thrill of connecting with you has been replaced by the distraction of strangers' lives online. When she's more invested in what other people are doing than what's happening between the two of you, it's clear she's seeking entertainment and validation elsewhere. But don't take this lightly. This is about more than just a cat video being more captivating than your conversation. Think about it like this. You're having dinner together, and instead of sharing stories or enjoying each other's company, she's constantly glued to her phone, refreshing her feed. You try to spark a conversation, but it barely takes off because her attention is divided. This isn't just about bad manners. It's a sign of something much bigger. And the modern world we live in makes this all too easy. In fact, many men have found themselves in this exact scenario, wondering when they went from being the main character in her story to a background actor. Do you agree with that? If so, please comment yes, or if you have other thoughts, please share with me. I knew a friend, let's call him Jake, who used to experience this with his girlfriend. Every date night turned into him sitting across from her while she updated her Snapchat, lost in a sea of selfies and likes. The more he tried to talk, the more she drifted away, until one day he realized that he wasn't the one she was truly interested in anymore. He was competing with her online life, and that was a battle he couldn't win. So ask yourself, does this sound familiar? Do you often feel like her phone has become her companion, and you're just there? These are not small signs. They're telling you something important. A Stoic man, someone who values his self-worth and practices the principles of Stoicism, would not ignore these signs. Instead, he would address them calmly, with clarity, because he understands his value and won't accept less than a relationship that is mutually engaging. The key lesson here is not to get lost in emotional frustration, but to observe, reflect, and take action. High-value men never beg for attention. They recognize when their energy is better spent elsewhere. The Stoic mindset teaches us that we can't control other people's actions, only our own reactions. If she's checked out, you must have the strength to walk away and invest in yourself, in someone who values and respects your presence. So what will you do? Will you continue to fight for her attention, or will you rise above, showing her and yourself that you deserve more? 6. She stops talking about the future together. When a woman is truly done with you, one of the first, most subtle signs is that she stops talking about the future you once dreamed of together. Remember how she used to say "we" all the time? It was "we should do this," or "we could go there," painting pictures of a future filled with shared moments and big plans. Whether it was imagining trips, discussing moving in together, or even daydreaming about what you'd name the dog you'd adopt. Those conversations made it clear you were part of her vision. But when she starts speaking in singular terms, like, "I might do this," or "I've been thinking about doing that," it's a shift that's hard to ignore. Suddenly, you notice her weekend plans don't involve you, and she's no longer considering how her decisions might affect the both of you. The someday that used to connect the two of you in possibility has quietly disappeared, leaving you on the outside of her new, independent world. At first, it might feel small, almost trivial, but in reality, these subtle shifts in language are the warning bells you can't afford to miss. When "we" turns into "I", she's no longer seeing you in her long-term picture, and that's a red flag you, as a high-value man, must not overlook. As Stoicism teaches us, emotions and desires can often cloud our ability to see things clearly. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Ask yourself, have you been ignoring the signs because it's easier to pretend nothing's changed? Or are you prepared to face the uncomfortable truth that she may be mentally and emotionally preparing for life without you? This is where Stoic life lessons become so essential, recognizing the reality of the situation without letting it crush your spirit. It's not just the grand gestures that fade when a woman is done with you. It's the little things that pile up over time. She's no longer excited to make plans with you for the weekend or consults you when making decisions. She stops asking for your opinion on things she once valued, and there's an emotional distance that wasn't there before. This isn't just about her pulling back on big life-changing plans like moving in together or talking about marriage. It's the smaller details, the ones that made you feel like a team, that start to dissolve. The moments where she considered your thoughts, your schedule, your desires, that connection begins to erode. The idea of someday has vanished, and in its place she's plotting her own solo path forward. But here's the real question you need to ask yourself: what are you going to do about it? Stoicism teaches us not to react impulsively or out of fear, but instead to calmly observe and accept reality as it is. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Are you going to hold on, desperately trying to cling to something that may already be lost? Or are you ready to accept that this chapter might be closing, and it's time for you to turn the page and focus on your own growth? As you reflect on these shifts, it's crucial to ask yourself these questions. What is Stoicism teaching me about facing difficult truths? Am I living in alignment with the Stoic mindset by acknowledging what is happening in front of me? Or am I allowing my emotions to steer me into denial? Remember, a high-value man understands that not every relationship is meant to last forever, and sometimes walking away is the highest form of self-respect. So, if you're noticing that the "we" has disappeared from her vocabulary, it's time to recognize that she may already be envisioning a future without you. And while that might sting, it's also an opportunity for you to realign with your own path, guided by the principles of Stoicism and the wisdom it offers. What's your next move? And there you have it, 6 clear signs a woman is done with you. As a high-value man, recognizing these signs early is crucial to maintaining your self-respect and moving forward with purpose. If you found value in today's video, make sure to give it a like, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to Win Stoic. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss any of our upcoming Stoic life lessons. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay strong and keep growing. If she tells you these 12 things, leave her immediately for your own good Stoic life lessons. When navigating relationships as a high-value man, it's essential to recognize when a woman is no longer invested in you, and when her words are signaling it's time to walk away for your own well-being. In 6 Signs a Woman is Done with You, you'll learn the subtle cues that indicate her feelings have shifted. Meanwhile, if she tells you these 12 things, reveals the red flags in her communication that should prompt you to leave. Together, these insights will help you maintain your self-respect and make wise decisions in love. Number 1. It's always about her. When it's always about her, you're left feeling invisible and unimportant. Men often grapple with the societal expectation to suppress their emotions, leading to loneliness and a sense of isolation. When you muster the courage to share your day-to-day experiences and emotions, it's an act of trust, a way of saying, "I value you enough to let you in." However, when your vulnerability is met with disinterest or the conversation swiftly pivots to her interests, it feels like a punch to the gut. Imagine landing that coveted promotion at work, your heart brimming with pride and excitement, eager to share this triumph with your partner. Instead of basking in your joy, she redirects the conversation to the latest fashion trend or gadget. It's as if she's saying, "Your success doesn't matter. My interests are more important." this lack of balance can erode the foundation of your relationship, making one person's feelings and achievements seem insignificant compared to the other's superficial concerns. A healthy relationship thrives on mutual respect and care, where both partners' achievements and feelings are celebrated equally. Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This wisdom underscores the importance of listening and valuing each other's experiences in a relationship. Empathy and mutual support are the cornerstones of a fulfilling partnership. Recognizing when your partner's behavior leans towards selfishness and a lack of emotional support is crucial. It's about valuing yourself and ensuring your emotional well-being is not compromised. Sometimes this realization leads to difficult conversations where you address the imbalance, seeking to restore mutual respect and understanding. In other instances, it might mean making the tough decision to leave the relationship. Your happiness and fulfillment depend on being in a relationship built on mutual care, respect, and support. Embracing Stoic happiness involves understanding that you deserve a partner who values and celebrates your achievements and emotions as much as their own. It's about striving for a balanced relationship where both partners feel heard, valued, and supported. In modern life, it's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of personal interests and achievements. However, true Stoic happiness and fulfillment come from nurturing relationships that prioritize mutual respect and care. Remember, it's not just about enduring hardships, but also about making choices that lead to a more balanced and fulfilling life. By integrating Stoic life lessons into your relationships, you foster an environment where both partners can thrive emotionally and spiritually. As you navigate the complexities of modern relationships, keep Epictetus's wisdom close to heart and strive to be both a good listener and an empathetic partner. Your journey to Stoic happiness is about creating a life where your achievements and emotions are valued, leading to a healthier and more fulfilling relationship. If you find yourself constantly sidelined by a partner who prioritizes their interests over yours, it's time to reassess the relationship. Why? Because you deserve good things. Comment, because I deserve good things. Because I deserve good things. Because I deserve good things. Your emotional well-being and happiness are paramount, and a balanced relationship built on mutual respect and care is essential for true Stoic happiness. Number 2. I'm busy right now. We all understand how demanding work can be. As a man, you have your 8-to-5 job just like everyone else. Yet, despite your busy schedule, you still manage to prioritize your family. This shows that your family holds significant importance to you, and you ensure to dedicate quality time to them even amidst your essential tasks. This balance between work and family responsibilities is commendable and speaks volumes about your commitment to your loved ones and your ability to manage priorities effectively. However, when your partner consistently tells you she's too busy to talk or spend time with you, it's a red flag. Remember, relationships thrive on mutual effort and time investment. If she is always preoccupied with work and rarely makes time for you, it signals a deeper issue. A relationship should be a source of support and companionship, not an added stressor. When someone values you, they make time for you no matter how hectic their schedule is. Like the saying, if you want to do something, you will find a way. If you don't want to do it, you will find an excuse. Do you agree with this saying? If so, comment "so true" or comment "I don't think so" if you have a different opinion. The ancient Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." This quote emphasizes the importance of perspective and resilience in facing life's challenges. It encourages us to approach situations with a rational mindset, understanding that our perceptions and fears often exaggerate difficulties more than the actual circumstances warrant. Reflecting on this, it's important to recognize the real impact of a partner's constant unavailability. While it's easy to make excuses for them, rational thinking helps us see the truth. If she truly cared, she would find a way to be present. Let's consider a modern scenario. John, a software engineer, always juggled his demanding job and personal life. Despite late-night coding sessions and weekend projects, he never failed to spend quality time with his girlfriend, Emma. However, Emma frequently cancelled plans, citing work as the reason. Initially, John empathized with her busy schedule, but over time he noticed a pattern. Emma was always too busy for him, but not for her friends or other activities. When he confronted her, she brushed it off, making John feel unreasonable. But deep down, John knew that if Emma valued their relationship as much as he did, she would prioritize him occasionally. This realization helped John make a tough decision to step back from a relationship where he was not truly valued. What about you? Have you experienced a similar situation where your partner's perpetual busyness made you feel neglected? How did you handle it? Open communication is crucial in such scenarios. Share your feelings with her and observe her response. If she genuinely cares, she will make an effort to adjust. If not, it might be time to reconsider the relationship for your own well-being. The key lesson here is to understand that genuine interest in a relationship is shown through consistent effort and time investment. Don't settle for excuses. You deserve a partner who values and prioritizes you. By embracing the Stoic mindset, you can navigate these challenges with clarity and resilience, ensuring your happiness and emotional health remain intact. Maintaining a balance between work and personal life is crucial, but genuine interest and effort in relationships should never be compromised or overlooked. Building strong connections requires consistent effort, communication, and a mutual willingness to prioritize each other's well-being and happiness. Remember, what is Stoicism teaches us about valuing what truly matters in life, and Stoic principles help us navigate these intricate dynamics with grace and wisdom. Number 3. My ex used to do that. When you're in a relationship, it's generally considered inappropriate to dwell on past relationships, but if your partner constantly brings up their ex, it should raise concerns. Imagine you're out shopping together, and she remarks, "My ex had great taste in clothes. He would have loved this outfit." While seemingly innocuous, these comments can trigger feelings of inadequacy and insecurity in your current relationship. The Stoic mindset teaches us to focus on what is within our control. As Epictetus wisely said, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." Dwelling on past relationships is beyond your control, and it's crucial to prioritize your emotional well-being by addressing such behaviors in a relationship. Constantly comparing you to her past relationships is not conducive to building a healthy and trusting partnership. If your partner frequently mentions their ex, it may indicate that she hasn't fully moved on or is using the current relationship as a distraction from unresolved emotions. This could mean you're being a rebound partner rather than someone chosen out of genuine desire and connection. Recognizing these patterns is vital. Don't allow yourself to be used as a temporary emotional crutch. If she seems unable to let go of the past, it may be time to reassess the relationship. Please, my friend, don't be blind anymore. Your emotional health and happiness should not be compromised. Staying in such a situation can lead to unnecessary heartache. It's essential to have open and honest conversations about boundaries and expectations in the relationship. However, if these discussions do not lead to positive changes, it may be in your best interest to consider moving on. As Seneca said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." Prioritizing your well-being is not selfish. It's an essential aspect of maintaining healthy relationships. Think about it. Are you comfortable with being constantly compared to someone from her past? Does it affect your self-esteem and your perception of the relationship? Open-ended questions like these can help you reflect deeply on your situation. By embracing a Stoic mindset, you learn to control what you can and let go of what you cannot. Stoicism today is about applying these ancient principles to our modern lives. How do you feel about taking control of your emotional health and setting boundaries that protect your well-being? It's important to remember that your partner should respect your feelings and contribute positively to your life. If she is unable to move on from her ex, it may be a sign that the relationship isn't built on a solid foundation. Recognizing the importance of your emotional health and addressing behaviors that undermine your self-worth is crucial. By doing so, you honor yourself and set the stage for healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Remember, you deserve a partner who values you for who you are, not someone who constantly compares you to the past. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." So, nurture those thoughts with the wisdom of Stoicism and the understanding that you deserve the best. What steps will you take today to ensure your emotional well-being in your relationships? Number 4. It's your fault. Have you ever found yourself constantly taking the blame in your relationship, even when it's not your fault? It's a sign that something's wrong, and understanding this dynamic can save you from unnecessary heartache. Dive into these essential Stoic life lessons to learn why you should walk away if she always tells you it's your fault. One crucial red flag that many men tend to overlook in relationships is when a woman consistently refuses to apologize or take responsibility for her actions. This behavior goes beyond mere oversight or occasional misunderstandings. It reflects a deeper pattern that can significantly impact the dynamics of the relationship. If you find that every minor disagreement or mistake leads to you being the one groveling for forgiveness, regardless of how trivial the issue may be, while she shifts the blame onto you for her errors, it's time to take a step back and reassess the situation. This refusal to acknowledge faults and work towards a resolution together creates an imbalanced and unhealthy dynamic, undermining the foundation of trust and respect necessary for a healthy relationship. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This timeless wisdom underscores the importance of introspection and accountability in navigating life's challenges, including those within relationships. Healthy relationships thrive on open communication, mutual respect, and shared responsibility. Both partners must be willing to recognize their mistakes, apologize sincerely, and work together towards resolution and growth. When one partner disregards or minimizes their faults while magnifying the others, it creates a toxic cycle of blame and resentment. It's crucial to remember that relationships are built on mutual responsibility and understanding. Forgiveness and appreciation are essential, but they must be reciprocated and valued by both partners. If she consistently avoids admitting her mistakes or refuses to work towards healthier communication and conflict resolution, it may indicate deeper issues of maturity and emotional intelligence. Therefore, assessing the overall health and compatibility of the relationship is imperative. Ending a relationship with such imbalances can be difficult, but it can also pave the way for personal growth and the pursuit of more fulfilling connections. Prioritize finding a partner who values accountability, empathy, and mutual respect, as these qualities are the cornerstones of a lasting and meaningful relationship journey. In modern life, these principles are more relevant than ever. The pressures of daily life and the complexities of modern relationships can amplify the importance of mutual respect and understanding. If you find yourself in a relationship where you're constantly blamed and your partner never takes responsibility, it's a sign that the relationship may be more detrimental than beneficial. Remember, Stoic happiness comes from within and from maintaining relationships that uplift rather than tear down. By adhering to these Stoic life lessons, you can navigate your relationships with wisdom and integrity, ensuring that you surround yourself with individuals who contribute positively to your well-being. Don't ignore the signs. Comment, "Don't ignore the signs," as a self-warning. If she tells you it's your fault, without ever acknowledging her own mistakes, it's time to consider walking away. Doing so not only protects your emotional health, but also aligns with the Stoic principles of accountability and self-respect. Embrace the wisdom of Stoicism in your relationships and strive for connections that foster growth, understanding, and mutual respect. Number 5. Pointing out flaws. In a healthy relationship, the ability to communicate openly and constructively is crucial. Your partner should not only listen to your thoughts and feelings, but also provide feedback that empowers you to grow as an individual. Instead of constantly pointing out flaws or shortcomings, they should inspire and motivate you to become the best version of yourself. This approach fosters a sense of trust and mutual respect, creating a supportive environment where both partners can thrive. Conversely, if your partner consistently undermines your self-esteem or belittles your aspirations, it's a clear red flag signaling potential toxicity within the relationship. Feeling comfortable in your own skin and being able to express yourself authentically are fundamental rights within a healthy partnership. If these essential elements are compromised due to negativity or constant criticism, it may be time to reassess the dynamics of the relationship. Imagine you're in a relationship where every conversation seems to turn into a critique session. Your partner rarely acknowledges your achievements and instead focuses on your perceived flaws. This kind of behavior can slowly erode your confidence and self-worth. Picture a friend of mine, Sarah, who found herself in such a relationship. Her partner, instead of supporting her ambition to start her own business, constantly reminded her of the high failure rates of new ventures. Over time, Sarah began doubting her abilities, feeling trapped in a cycle of self-criticism fueled by her partner's negative comments. She realized that staying in such an environment was detrimental to her well-being and made the courageous decision to leave. Today, Sarah runs a successful business, surrounded by people who believe in her and uplift her spirit. Recognizing warning signs within a relationship is paramount to fostering a healthy and fulfilling connection. When you're with your partner, it should be a space where mutual encouragement and a sense of security thrive. Their role extends beyond mere companionship. It encompasses nurturing your growth and ensuring that you feel valued and confident. Building a strong foundation based on love and positivity is not just beneficial, but necessary for the relationship to flourish. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely said, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." This timeless quote encapsulates the essence of nurturing relationships based on empathy, support, and kindness. Choosing to surround yourself with individuals who uplift and encourage your growth aligns with the Stoic philosophy of focusing on virtuous behaviors and meaningful connections. This is not just about romantic relationships, but applies to friendships and professional interactions as well. Are the people around you helping you become a better person? Do they provide constructive feedback, or do they tear you down with their words? Reflecting on these questions can help you identify and foster healthy relationships. Ultimately, prioritizing your emotional well-being and personal growth sets the stage for a fulfilling and enriching relationship journey. Embrace the Stoic mindset of seeking out those who bring out the best in you, and be willing to let go of those who do not. What is Stoicism teaches us the importance of virtuous relationships, and in the journey to win Stoic, it is crucial to recognize when a relationship is no longer serving your best interests. By fostering connections that encourage growth and positivity, you set yourself on a path toward a more fulfilling and balanced life. Number 6. I have no one else. Imagine this scenario. She tells you, "I have no one else." This statement might tug at your heartstrings and make you feel compelled to provide unwavering support. But here's where the Stoic mindset comes into play. While it's natural to want to be her rock, remember that your role as a partner is to be her equal, not her therapist. You're not obligated to diagnose or solve all her problems, no matter how much you care for her. It's vital to understand the boundaries of your relationship and recognize that constantly being her emotional crutch can create an unhealthy dependency. In Stoicism today, we learn that it's crucial to establish clear boundaries to maintain a healthy relationship dynamic. When she seems overwhelmed or helpless, it's not your responsibility to swoop in and save her. If you take on the role of the fixer, you might inadvertently encourage a reliance on you for emotional stability, which can lead to an imbalanced relationship. Instead, she needs the guidance of a professional psychiatrist or counselor who can provide the specialized support she requires. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This quote emphasizes the importance of self-awareness and setting realistic expectations. Recognize your limitations and focus on your well-being. Encouraging her to seek professional help isn't abandoning her. It's ensuring she gets the proper care she needs while you maintain a healthy balance in your life. Open and honest communication about these boundaries is crucial. Have a heartfelt conversation where you express your concerns and suggest professional support as a step towards her mental health journey. This doesn't mean you stop offering emotional support altogether, but rather you recognize when it's time to involve a professional. Think about the long-term implications of constantly being the fixer. It can lead to resentment and strain in your relationship, impacting both your mental and emotional health. You might start feeling inadequate or frustrated because you're taking on more than you should. By prioritizing your mental health and maintaining clear boundaries, you contribute to a more balanced and fulfilling partnership. This approach not only benefits you, but also empowers her to take proactive steps towards her well-being. So, ask yourself, how can you better support her without compromising your own mental health? How can you encourage a healthy dynamic that promotes mutual respect and self-sufficiency? Reflect on these questions and consider the wisdom of Stoic principles in navigating this aspect of your relationship. In doing so, you foster a partnership that thrives on mutual support and personal growth, guided by the timeless teachings of Stoicism. Number 7. It was nothing serious. When a partner dismisses their infidelity with the phrase, "it was nothing serious," it's an attempt to minimize the gravity of their betrayal, striking at the heart of the trust that is fundamental to any meaningful relationship. This situation echoes the Stoic philosopher Seneca's wisdom. A lack of trust is the first step towards disintegration. The discovery of infidelity unleashes a storm of emotions, shock, anger, and deep sadness, that forces a painful reassessment of the relationship's foundations. This tumult can make you question your own worth and the values you once held dear. It's crucial in these moments to prioritize your self-respect and emotional well-being. Despite your partner's assurances that it was a one-time mistake, the breach of trust they've created is profound and not easily repaired. Infidelity is not merely a physical act, it is a significant disregard for the emotional sanctity of your relationship. This betrayal sows seeds of doubt and insecurity, eroding the love and companionship that took time to build. Choosing to leave a relationship tarnished by such betrayal is not a sign of weakness. Instead, it is a courageous affirmation of your self-worth and dignity. It's a step towards embracing honesty, integrity, and the pursuit of genuine connections built on mutual trust and respect. Though the decision to part ways may be challenging, staying in a relationship riddled with betrayal only prolongs the emotional turmoil and prevents both partners from finding true fulfillment and happiness. Embracing the principles of Stoic life lessons, we understand that enduring happiness comes from inner peace and integrity. Remaining in a toxic relationship contradicts these principles. Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic philosopher, reminds us that we should stand firm in our values and not let external events dictate our inner state. In modern life, this translates to valuing yourself enough to walk away from relationships that undermine your happiness and self-respect. By doing so, you align with the Stoic pursuit of a life of virtue and contentment. In essence, if your partner tells you it was nothing serious after an act of infidelity, it's essential to see this as a red flag. This phrase is an attempt to downplay a serious breach of trust and it should prompt a deep reflection on the health of your relationship. By applying Stoic principles, you can find the strength to prioritize your well-being, making choices that lead to a more fulfilling and stoic happiness. Remember, leaving a relationship plagued by infidelity is not just about ending the turmoil. It's about opening the door to genuine, trustworthy connections that respect and uplift you. Number 8. Being too sensitive. When someone tells you, "Oh, you are being too sensitive," it's not just a casual remark. It's a significant red flag in a relationship. Respect and empathy are the cornerstones of any healthy partnership, and dismissing your emotions as oversensitivity can be incredibly hurtful. It's disheartening when your partner mocks your failures or trivializes your heartfelt losses. When you muster the courage to address these issues, instead of receiving understanding or an apology, you're met with a dismissive comment about your sensitivity. They argue that you should be able to handle teasing and criticism with mental fortitude, blurring the line between playful banter and genuine hurt. Epictetus, a renowned Stoic philosopher, wisely stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This principle is particularly relevant in relationships, when your partner not only dismisses your valid feelings, but also weaponizes them against you. It's a clear red flag. Insults disguised as jokes or unfavorable comparisons to others only serve to undermine your self-worth. Recognizing when such interactions become toxic is crucial for your mental and emotional well-being. It's vital to surround yourself with people who uplift and encourage your growth. Consider a modern scenario. Imagine you're working tirelessly on a project at work, putting in extra hours to meet a tight deadline. You share your stress and efforts with your partner, hoping for some support or encouragement. Instead, they laugh and say, "You're just making a big deal out of nothing. Everyone deals with stress. You're too sensitive." This response not only invalidates your hard work, but also makes you feel alone in your struggles. A supportive partner would acknowledge your efforts, offer empathy, and perhaps even find ways to help you cope. Reflect on your own experiences. Have you ever been in a situation where your feelings were dismissed or belittled by someone close to you? How did it make you feel, and what impact did it have on your self-esteem and well-being? Understanding the importance of empathy and respect in a relationship can help you set boundaries and protect your emotional health. In the teachings of Stoicism, emotional resilience is vital, but so is the recognition of toxic behaviors that hinder your growth. A healthy relationship should be a sanctuary where you feel safe to express your emotions without fear of being judged or ridiculed. If your partner consistently fails to provide this safe space, it's a sign to reevaluate the relationship. Surrounding yourself with supportive and understanding people is essential for your personal development and happiness. It's not about being overly sensitive. It's about expecting and deserving respect, empathy, and kindness. By recognizing these red flags and setting boundaries, you can ensure that your relationships contribute positively to your life. Relationships should be a source of support and positivity, not a battlefield where you constantly prove your resilience against hurtful remarks. Embrace the Stoic mindset of focusing on how you react to challenges, but also remember the importance of surrounding yourself with people who respect and uplift you. By doing so, you can cultivate a life filled with genuine connections and personal growth, living out the true essence of what is Stoicism and striving to win Stoic lessons in your daily life. Number 9. Obey me. If she ever tells you, "Obey me," consider it a crucial moment to reassess your relationship for your own well-being. In many relationships, it's normal for women to manage their partner's schedules to some extent, inquiring about plans or suggesting spending time together. This often reflects a healthy relationship where both partners support each other's social lives. However, when this concern morphs into controlling behavior, it becomes a serious issue. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely noted, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. This quote underscores the importance of preserving personal freedom and not allowing ourselves to be manipulated or controlled by others. If your partner starts demanding obedience, asking you to abandon your hobbies, or limiting your time with friends, take it as a significant red flag. While it's natural for her to have preferences about your social circle, imposing restrictions on your time with friends is worrisome. If she issues ultimatums, making you choose between her and your friends, it's a clear sign that the relationship may not be healthy. Your happiness and freedom are paramount, and compromising them for someone else's control can be detrimental to your well-being. Epictetus's teachings remind us to prioritize our autonomy and well-being above all else. Navigating such challenges within relationships requires effective communication. Open and honest discussions about needs, boundaries, and expectations are essential for fostering mutual understanding and respect. Healthy relationships thrive on a balance between individual pursuits and shared experiences, allowing both partners to maintain connections with friends and pursue personal interests without feeling constrained or controlled. It is crucial to recognize warning signs such as ultimatums that force a choice between a partner and social circles. Epictetus's wisdom continues to resonate today, reminding us that sacrificing personal happiness and freedom for the sake of a relationship's status quo is not sustainable. True fulfillment in relationships comes from mutual support, respect for individual autonomy, and the freedom to pursue personal passions and connections outside the relationship. Ultimately, if a relationship becomes suffocating or stifles personal growth and fulfillment, it may be necessary to reassess your priorities and make decisions that prioritize your overall well-being. This is where the Stoic mindset becomes invaluable, helping you discern when to stand firm in your autonomy. Reflect on Epictetus's advice. How can you maintain your personal freedom while still nurturing meaningful connections? Are you compromising too much of yourself for the sake of the relationship? These are the questions that need answering to ensure that your relationship is not only healthy, but also enriching and empowering. Stoicism today teaches us the importance of harmony between personal freedom and meaningful connections, urging us to seek balance and true happiness in all aspects of life. By adhering to these Stoic principles, you can navigate your relationships with wisdom and strength, ensuring that both your personal growth and relational fulfillment are never compromised.